Joe Biden has been elected 46th President of the United States. The result was announced on Saturday after days of vote counting. The election centered on the so-called swing states, with Biden winning Arizona, Michigan and Pennsylvania considered key election battlegrounds. Meanwhile, Trump is mounting a legal challenge against the result, subject to which Biden will take office in January. With me in the studio to discuss the result and what it means for the United States and beyond is political analyst Camden Toblerone. Camden, not an entirely unexpected result, although perhaps the margin of victory was wider than many expected?
Absolutely, Bob. I mean, you don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that Trump's one of the least liked presidents in recent memory. I think Americans felt like they'd had enough. They felt like he'd mismanaged the COVID crisis and not been great at calming other domestic crises. Many experts viewed him as a CEO, used to the boardroom, hiring and firing, rather than having the political pedigree for the Oval Office. So is there an element of Biden winning by default and being the lesser of two evils rather than being an appealing candidate in his own right? There definitely is an element of that, but I also think people were ready for change.
Biden's health seems fragile and questions have been raised about whether he'd last a full term. What do you say to claims that Biden is simply a trusted elder statesman, Trojan horse, to get the Democrats into power and eventually pave the way for Harris or another candidate becoming president?
He has suffered with dementia, Bob, and he's the oldest president we've ever had. Note, though, how he jogged onto the stage to give his victory speech, which was sending the message, I'm not an old man, folks, I got lots of energy. Now, whether they gave him steroids, speed, or other performance-enhancing substances to achieve that, I'm not sure. On the Trojan horse point, that is definitely a possibility. The Obama administration showed that the United States electorate wasn't ready for a black man, let alone a black woman. So Biden might be the foot in the door, so to speak. What does the result mean for U.S. international relations? I mean, Trump effectively extended the middle finger to China, Iran, the Palestinians, the WHO. Granted, he made friends with North Korea, but the list of enemies is a little longer than the list of friends, so maybe international relations will improve.
Camden, thank you. After Donald Trump vowed to leave the country if he lost the election, critics have renewed calls for the outgoing US president to fulfill his promise. This despite Trump not appearing to have anywhere to go. No country, not even Israel or Micronesia, had offered to host him. That is until a certain prime minister extended a relocation invitation.
Donald Trump is a dear friend, a staunch ally of the UK. We could do with his COVID-19 expertise to help us turn the tide on this awful pandemic. So, yes, I would welcome Donald Trump to the UK.
As Biden's election victory was announced and he makes preparations to take over power from Donald Trump, the White House has formally been given care home status, making it the oldest care home in the United States. To the UK now, and the Metropolitan Police has been struggling to enforce the second national lockdown, which started on Thursday. The so-called Lockdown 2.0 has seen London streets and parks packed with pedestrians. We were given exclusive access to Bobby on the Beat, Steve Palmer's voice recorder, as he boarded London Underground trains in a bid to ensure passengers were following the rules.
Just on the Northern Line, southbound platform here at Camden Station. It's one of the busiest lines, often packed full of people. I'm going to be making sure they're following the rules.
Excuse me, sir. Steve Palmer, Metropolitan Police. Can I ask why you're not wearing a mask?
Sorry, mate. I'm really claustrophobic, like proper mental. I can't wear them.
Have you got a doctor's certificate for that condition?
Oh yeah, of course, mate, of course. Not on me, mind, but yeah, I've got one at home.
All right then. Excuse me, sir. Why aren't you wearing a mask?
Oh, yeah, really sorry. I lent mine to my brother for Halloween, you see. He's got young kids. He didn't have any Halloween clothes or anything, so I gave him my COVID mask, and he still hasn't given it back. Totally unacceptable behaviour.
That is a bit off, innit? All right, mate, I'll let you off.
Excuse me, Steve Palmer, Metropolitan Police. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 23 of you. How many households are you all from? Fuck off!
Charming. Scottish actor Sir Sean Connery died on Halloween at the age of 90. Best known for his role as James Bond in the 007 franchise, we look back on our exclusive interview with the actor 2 years ago. So Sean, thank you very much indeed for joining us. To start with, I just wanted to talk about your life before you became an actor. I understand that you once worked as a lorry driver, a lifeguard, a labourer, an artist's model, a coffin polisher. You served in the Navy and were even offered a contract as a professional footballer. Not many people know this about you. Is this all true?
That's right, Bob. I was a very active lad. I did all sorts before I entered the entertainment industry.
Another little-known fact about you, you've always been a generous giver to charity. You donated your entire salary, well over $1 million in 1971, from the film Diamonds Are Forever, to the Scottish International Education Trust, which you co-founded, among many other acts of philanthropy. Why have you been so generous to charity?
Well, that's simple, Bob. I wasn't born into privilege. My mother was a cleaner and my father a factory worker and lorry driver. So I knew before I hit the big time what it was like to suffer and not have much. So I suppose that coloured my perspective.
You've also been a huge supporter of the SNP. Do you think Scotland should be independent of the UK?
Yes, I do.
What do you make of Daniel Craig? Has he been a good James Bond?
He's done all right, but he is English after all.
So Sean, thank you very much indeed.